私は勝つわ。誰が相手であろうとも。吹き飛べ!
I knew I was going to get Swartz Rose Valeria before the end of this game, before the end of the global version. Gosh dang it! Alright, KT went all in on this one with 4 Legend Fes banners running at the same time. You notice? It's up to March 28th. And by the way, why are they still offering paid Lone Star gems for this pickup banner? So anyway, this is Simboy time for another Legend Fes Breakdown, and there are now 4 Legend Fes banners in one video. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will be recording it in 3 parts, so 3 days or so. It will be out by Monday by the time you're watching this video. So, let's start off with the first of the 4 Legend Fes banners I have to cover. So, Earnest Angel Flocke and Lucky Buddy Heidi. I already covered this in the Japanese version, but you know what? I'll have to speed this up a little bit. Plus, Trial Battle B-rolls are back for this episode since I will not be doing the commentary on those trial battles, by the way. So, yeah. So we'll start off. Earnest Angel Flocke. Honestly, she is very good on stab element, if you can tell because of the stab defender. Now in the Japanese version, there's supposed to be a stab element reinforces campaign. So last October we got these kind of set of banners. That's why all 4 were releasing at once this time, because global version is closing down. So yeah, this is likely going to be the third to last episode that I'll be covering this in the global version. So yeah, notes aside, let's check her skill set. So 83% damage, 7% break, 106 of weight. Basically, she will restore all allies HP by 5 to 20% depending on her own HP. So the lower the HP that she has, the better the healing recovery range. This allows all enemies, however, if she uses her skill 1 to reduce speed by 5% for 2 turns. I guess it's more or less a unique case where Flocke or any defender gets to reduce speed. I thought it would be useful for supporters or attackers, but nonetheless. Now, I'd say this one is a bit less effective when I use her in the Japanese version, because there is an ability that allows her to make her more useful if you keep her HP as high as possible, making this skill 1 not useful unless if you want to risk not letting her summon that special ability called burst panels. So Fluttering Strike only works if you're letting Flocke get injured more often than other defenders. So oh gosh, I'm sorry. How could you harm this little angel? Tenshi-chan! Anyway, skill 2, Twinkling Petals. 272% damage, 30% break, 206 of weight, single target. After attacking, boost all allies' skill damage by 10%. And increase stab damage by 20% for 2 turns. This allows Flocke to also reduce her own damage received by 35% for 2 attacks. Now, I'd say skill 1 is least useful, because if Flocke uses this one in autoplay or manual teams, there goes her chance trying to heal others, because if you want to use her as a healer, you'd be best let enemies hit her more often, or hurt her often. I'm sorry, this is gonna be more Riona moments. I'm sorry. So this one is more useful. I'd say stab attackers, particularly for Mew from Salberg or Swartz Rose Sewell. There's also Juna if you have her in Chapter 8, and pretty much more, as well as Magda, Magda, Mieke, and Diona. Yeah, actually, Mieke and Diona have different elements, unfortunately, I'm sorry. But yeah, this is more useful on stab attackers, so keep an eye out for that. I will be recording the other 3 Legend Fes banners separately. So, Twinkly Petals, good for stab attackers nonetheless. Now, Flowering Angel, cue the B-roll.
フロッケに任せてください。準備は完璧。大丈夫です。フロッケにお任せください。行きます。皆さんを守るための力を。
Flowering Angel, as you can see, the B-roll animation references Flocke growing a beanstalk. This also just appeared during my recording on the Yonko manga of Atelier Resleriana in the Japanese version. So this one attacks all enemies 315% damage, 37% break, 200 ticks of weight. This allows two things, actually three things. So this restores all allies by 15%, boosts all allies skill damage by 15%, stab damage by 15%. By the way, you can use this twice and then it will cap up to 30%. All, however, well, she will reduce her own damage received by 100% for one attack. This allows the next enemy to attack Flocke to summon a burst battle. So why I say this is because there is this one. So after using a skill, she will restore her own HP by 5%. When hit by an attack while her own HP is 95% or higher, she will convert into a burst battle for the next ally after she gets hit. And this will also create a burst battle if the burst battle is empty. So that's why you gotta go two things. Either Flocke is a healer or Flocke will summon burst battles, depending if bosses or swarm enemies will try to inflict her more damage. And I'm sorry, there's gonna be a lot more. But anyway, this one is a bit slim to recommend, considering her Swords Rose variant. Back in the chapter 11 days, you can use her healing way too often, like a recommended teammate during story part 2 battles. But this one, useful if you're going for stab battles, stab tournaments. Well, I guess at this point Romance Grand Tournament will be closing anyway, so I don't think this will be useful anymore. But if you want to enhance your stab element team, you can get Flocke. I think there are more stab supporters that are useful. Say Academy Sophie, and I'm sorry I forgot to switch. I forgot to remove the right click button. But you know what? We'll finish off with the Angel's Blessing skill. So basically, this increases stab affinity characters all stats by 25%. Yep, I'd say she's a very good stab defender with buff stats. And she also has this one. Now, it's more obvious defenders will get more hit from more targeted by enemies. And by the way, whoever attacks Flocke, come on, play! She's just cute! Anyway, boost defense stats by 30% and that's it! Now, I say that's it because her defense stats are at the thousands, even at level 90. But good thing if you have level cap, we have level limit features available until the end of service. In the Japanese version, you can just get it for like a few as you can during the event. So yeah, if you can get the Japanese version, I implore you because the story still continues. Now, as for Flocke's tags, Lanterna, obviously, family and friends. Hey, Magda! Merchant, Shonin, and Chef Riori. Gifts this time are red to purple, stab blessing, stab curse, and physical resistance up. Now you can tell if you can max this one, if you want to have more reinforcements for your stab team, I think Flocke is a good start. Given that she'll be summoning burst panels all the time. So yeah, I'd say it's more or less a recommended pick, but not recommended if you already have another stab supporter or any stab defender. In this case, I would go for Academy Sophie, but yeah, if you're thirsting for the least of the defenders, I mean, or if you want, go for the looks or cuteness, Flocke, Sarah, it is. That's a bit like 8 minutes. New note, I did get her at a 1% boost up this time. Now, her other buddy, Lucky Buddy Heidi. Air attacker, by the way, so if you have air attackers like Phoenix, and then, can't go wrong. Even the upcoming Phoenix variant, which just released from my previous Legend Fes Banner, Legend Fes Breakdown video, check that on my channel. So, Lucky Buddy Heidi, air attacker. So, this one's Verdict. This boosts her own damage by 40% for one turn, 93% damage, 7% break, 100 ticks of weight. This is single target. This one, Frame Pitas. This is actually a skill lamp skill. So basically, this boosts her damage by this boosts damage depending if there are number of enemies. The fewer the enemies there are, the higher the boost, akin to Ruben. This one is kinda unique. Actually, this is more dependent if you're. This is more favorable if you're targeting boss enemies. Now, if there are less than one, it'll just charge. But however, if you fully charge the Foreign Vitas, aka Heidi's skill 2, then she will boost her own magical attack by 50% for 2 turns, and this will, reset back to 1. You can stack this, but I don't think there is that one moment where Heidi will be able to stack her own magical attack by 100%, but you can try if you want. One thing is for sure, the 10 to 30% boost damage difference, you might need it if you want to clear the remaining air tower challenges. So, if I recall, I don't think there's going to be any more additions, but there are updates coming up in the Japanese version, which unfortunately I can't cover this one because the global version will be closing anyway by the end of March, so XP will be doing the patch notes segment on his stream. So, yeah, I think this is a bit powerful, but if you have another air attacker, I think Heidi is going to be a slightly incremental powerful character when useful for when used as a solo attacker. I think Academy Resna can just clear out mobs out, but I think Heidi will inflict more damage once you give her enough buffs, stat buffs. Saltar Tempestus!
やる気が満ちてきた。そろそろ終わりにしようか。よし、作戦通り。こいつで仕上げだ。どうよ。
Saltar Tempestus. This allows to boost her attacks penetration by 100%. Basically reduces defense points on accounting that the attack will get a significant damage difference. So this boosts attack by 10 to 50%. This is higher than her skill 2, by the way. So 10 to 15% useful for bosses, and this allows to boost her own skill damage by 50% for 2 turns after using her burst skill. Saltar Tempestus. This is useful for clearing bosses anyway, so just a slightly higher difference. So yeah, if you cannot wait, or if the burst panel lands on Heidi, then you can be sure to use this one, and I think there are going to be chances or instances where you wanted to use her on especially a few EX3 or EX4 challenges in the remaining revival events. I think Rorona's event will be the last one, so yeah. Think of that what you will. So number 1, running away, she will start with 2 charges of Reinita, so therefore Heidi's skill 2 is ready to go. And if she gets HP recovery, whether it be supporter or defender, anything that heals her, this will charge her skill 2 skill lamp as well. So yeah, useful enough if you want to stack her magical attack before the expiration of the original turn. This also increases allies' magical attack by 10%, and her leader skill boosts energetic character skill damage and break damage by 50%. If you were wondering, these are the energetic characters. And as for the tags, Lantarda and family and friends, obviously. Gift colors this type are green to blue with Chaser Charge, Air Shield, and Skill Power Up. If you have Heidi on your synthesis, I recommend going for this one. But there is, for some reason, a slight change for the trait synthesis meta. So in the Japanese version, they're now introducing elemental specific skill power ups. So Phoenix is one of the newer instances where Phoenix or Ilmarina will be able to synthesize skill power ups. So we won't be getting this one in the global version. So yeah. That's as far as I can go. So if you don't have Eren, Phoenix, Academy Resna, any air attacker that is not like group attacker, I think Heidi is a good way to boost the significant power. Plus, her burst skill also destroys enemies with shields broken. Just as long as the attack penetration is unaccounted, that defenses will be ignored or reduced. So yeah, recommended, but more or less a bit redundant if you already have other air attackers at this point. Now, this Memoria is for Flocke, a trusty partner, illustrated by Toshiaki Takayama-san. More favorable on defense stats with 23.75. This, when equipped to a defender, boosts all allies' critical damage by up to 28%. But sorry for the slight delay. So, what this is useful if you have a defender. So it's not limited to Flocke, fortunately, so you can use this Memoria on any other defender. And sometimes it'll be useful for especially the Swords Rose allies. So any defender will do. You can just pick any character though. Just defense stats all in all. So recommended banner? I say more on the character side than stats wise. Heidi for air attacker, solo attacker if you don't have any air attacker. Flocke, however, more useful on stab teams, unfortunately. But if you want Flocke to summon burst panels, if you like to bear the ouchies from her, so yeah, I will go ahead and go record the next part. So next one goes to Mieke and Diona. See you tomorrow.